met each other, we were friends, we were friendly, we weren't dating or anything, but over time we really started to develop a friendship and I started to like him, but I didn't tell anybody.
In 2024, screens like this login screen are ubiquitous. If you have a Google account or a Microsoft account and you want to avoid remembering thousands of passwords, you use a federated login. And so essentially, when you want to use a third-party app or a website or something that requires a password or some kind of login credentials, you essentially just use your Google credentials and they have a trust relationship with each other. But the interesting thing about federated logins is that it's not always about who you actually are. It is who you say you are, or better yet, sometimes who it is said you are.
Hey, y'all know something that's not talked about enough? Dudes always throwing this coat on women's back talking about she a gold digger. She just want this, she just want that.
You're the man now,
and most women are doing better than men financially.
What can men do leaving here? Be better. Be better at everything.
They say that you learn 90% of what you teach. So what I want to do is use as an allegory the three quote unquote apps that are used to describe black men. One of them, of course, being that black men are not necessarily good fathers or absent fathers, an idea that's kind of not only ubiquitous, but is like a federated identity accepted as a truth. So when you hear young ladies saying that being a single mother is fantastic, I can do it all by myself, especially in the black community, it's a basic way of saying we don't really need black men as fathers, or better yet, black men are not good fathers.
Be better fathers. Good Lord, just being good fathers who love your daughters and are providing a solid example of what it means to be a good man in the world, showing them what it feels like to be loved. That is the greatest gift that the men in my life gave to me, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
The fact that I've never experienced the hands of any man in my life, and that's sad to say that that's a rare reality.
Before I continue with the other two apps, I want to give you a control. Basically, for us quote unquote underachieving black men, I want to show you an example of what love should look like.
You met him because he was a white student.
Yes.
Who was participating in taking down the Confederate flags.
And we were in a class together called The Changing Concept of Race in America.
Yes.
And we met each other, we were friends, we were friendly, we weren't dating or anything, but over time we really started to develop a friendship and I started to like him, but I didn't tell anybody.
Well, there was always sort of, he's my friend, he's my friend.
The other app that's associated with black men is that we're being outpaced, that we're not performing well enough economically, that we're getting circles ran around us, if you will. It is an identity of black men that is basically ubiquitous in the culture, that we are not on the level of some of our counterparts, and it is causing a stress in not just the black community, but maybe even the greater community. And that the only way that young ladies can find someone that's on their level is for us to pick up our weight because we're not quote unquote doing our part.
Like, it's not a secret. Most women are good financially. They got a cool job or a career. They got a crib. They got a car. They got a nice amount of money in their bank accounts. They checking, they savings, they credit good. What are y'all really talking about, bro? She just wants to see if you can provide, if you can pull your weight, bro.
Men can be better husbands, you know, which is be a part of your family's life. Do the dishes, you know. Don't babysit your children. You don't babysit your own children. You know, be engaged. You know, don't just think going to work and coming home makes you a man. Being a father, being engaged, all that stuff is important.
Yes. And your friends were like, what's going on with this?
Yes.
But then it gets very serious and comes a moment to take you home.
Yes.
Now, he comes from a very privileged background, it seems in the book.
Yes.
And you were worried about meeting his family for the first time.
The third and maybe the most ubiquitous idea associated with black men is that we need to quote unquote step up, generally speaking, as better husbands and lovers and fathers, and be more engaged in the community and save the community and make more money. All of these things roll into one idea that black men simply are not doing our best. As these ideas are associated with black men, a simple question becomes natural. Why am I still logged into all of these apps?
Yes, I mean, I was just nervous about the whole scenario. My parents had grown up in the South in segregation, and this was an interracial relationship, which was unusual.
Was
much
that
more
scary
so.
to you, an interracial relationship?
It was,
Yeah.
and certainly one with someone who had such a different background than
Yeah.
I did. It was sort of like hard to think about how this was going to happen. But I wanted my parents to trust me, and
I know, but your parents said, we trust you, we trust Patrick, but this is America.
that they did say that.
Dad said that.
My dad did say that, and
Speaking of America, what could be more American than the idea that black men ain't?
She a gold digger. She doing better than you, bro. She got more money than you, bro. She's more disciplined than you, bro. Like, you coming into her life ain't gonna make her or break her.
Be better.
Be better.
Be better.
Be better. I love that.
Just be better. You get the point, fellas, right? Fellas? What are you gonna be? There you go.
There you go.
eventually, they realized that we were right for each other, that we shared a lot of the same values.
But this was the thing that got me with Patrick. You're getting ready to meet the family. You're not
Yeah.
sure how it's going to go. And what did he say to you?
You'll never hear me boo-hoo someone else's love story. As a matter of fact, the love story of Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is a beautiful one. And it's beautiful to hear how she talks about her husband and how he talks about her.
He said, he said a couple things, but at one point he said, I choose you, because I was worried
Yes.
that, his grandmother had promised to pay for his medical school. And I was worried that it might mean that when she found out about me, she wouldn't do it. And he said, even if I have to take a job or do something else, I choose you.
I choose you. What did that mean to you?
Oh, it was
I
really,
choose you.
it was pretty extraordinary.
Oh, I know.
What can men do leaving here? Be better. Be better at everything.
What's beautiful about this conversation is that it's very clear that both of them believe that they found the person that they were looking for. And not only that, but she speaks with him with a deep sense of love, that she would never even consider having a life without him, and that he basically completes her. And that is a tone that's drastically different from the responses that you hear of young ladies agreeing with this gentleman, saying basically that black men aren't even close to the level that they're looking for.
What do you think the challenge is that women are having, black women in particular, when it comes to becoming a wife?
100, too much focus on women and not enough focus on themselves.
Keeping it 100,
Yes.
there's not enough eligible black males who fit the needs of black women.
If men dated on their financial level, this wouldn't be a recurring problem.
By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation,
Especially in the black community, black women are the most educated and employed.
what you end up drilling down into, because black women tend to want to marry black men.
Right.
They're worrying about gold diggers when most of them have no gold to dig.
So black women are excelling.
They just don't want to do what it takes to measure up.
They're getting accelerated degrees,
Ladies out here dust digging.
graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses.
These men will call him even though he is speaking facts.
Black women are running circles around men.
Stand-up, hardworking black men have been logged into this federated login for far too long. Guys that are paying taxes and going to work and even saving money, not creating illegitimate kids, which is the overwhelming majority of black men. To turn on the internet and hear this cascade of black men need to hold up their end of the bargain, that they're getting raced around in circles, that black men just go overseas and create baby mothers. It's old. If you're logged into this kind of environment and you keep getting the same kind of messaging over and over and over, the question becomes, why not just log out of that environment and log into a different one? One where you might find someone that looks at you the same way that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson looks at her husband. I think that as short as life is, we all deserve it. If you're logging into an environment that just tells you that even though you're a hardworking man, you should be happy with anything you can get, and the young lady that may quote unquote settle for you is looking down on the fact that you are a hardworking tax-paying citizen, that's just not it. Get out of that environment and log into a different one where you have a chance to find someone that might look at you the way that Judge Jackson looks at her husband, the one that she sees as the most special person that has ever walked into her life. Any man walking this planet, especially our black brothers that are stand-up, hardworking citizens, deserve at least that much. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care.